Artlist.io.
What it came for, we gon' take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stay down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Put on the gas, ain't slowing down.
Music licensing reimagined.
They won't let me in. Taking no L's, yeah, I gotta win. Watch the king out that girl, they won't let me in. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, get slowed down. No. We holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change.
Artlist.io.
Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Tell them that's like I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they not got it on lock. Go against me. That's a long shot.
Music licensing reimagined.
Taking the lead now while they watching. You should leave now while they watching. Taking the West, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick out that door, they won't let me in. I'm running the game now. Foot on the gas, get slowed down. No.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Sunday night. What an interesting Sunday night. What an interesting Sunday games. Bunch of games, right? And as I'm speaking, the Sunday night game has just ended as the Detroit Lions scored on the possession in overtime. And they have won the game 26-20, a hard-fought game against the Los Angeles Rams, a replay of the wild card game of last year. Pretty much the same results, right? But, Detroit goes up, they win their first game of the season in overtime. And to be honest, it was that overtime was a manhandling. But the Detroit Lions win 26-20. Matthew Stafford had a good game, but we'll go over that later. But what an interesting Sunday, right? First thing, we started off with several news reports. Well, several reports came in, right? The first one was about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott got a new contract at the beginning before the very first game of the season. He got a contract for 4 years, $240 million with $231 million guaranteed. Must be nice. Must be nice to get that type of contract and guaranteed money. Now, that sets him to be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback for the next 5 years, pretty much. This year and the next 4. So now the Dallas Cowboys had a very interesting game today, right? They had to go all the way to Cleveland, Ohio to face last year's #1 ranked defense, the Cleveland Browns in the dog pound. That's what they used to call it. Well, the Dallas Cowboys went in there. They played their game, and they made that dog pound look like a puppy kennel as they annihilated the Cleveland Browns. It was It was a one-sided game. I think it was 33 to what was it, 33 to 10, 33 to 17, something to that extent. It wasn't close. It wasn't close at all. And that new $240 million man, he didn't have a really good game as far as the offensive side of the football. As he completed 19 of 32 passes for 179 yards and one TD. So it was more what the team did than what he actually did. He only threw for 179 yards. The other new contractee didn't have a really impressive game, obviously, because they only had 179 yards passing. But I don't know. I don't know what you could make out of that other quarterback that was in the game today, Deshaun Watson. He was 24 45, 24 49, 169 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions, but he ran for 39 yards. I felt really bad for him because that offensive line couldn't stop a paper cut. It couldn't stop nothing. And I know he had all his money guaranteed, but if he was looking the way he was looking today, he's gonna have a long season. The line didn't protect him. He couldn't get no good throws off. He couldn't stay in the pocket long enough before getting hit. It was a rough day for him. So those are the two quarterbacks. One of the richest quarterbacks in the two rich. One of them in the richest about the richest people in the world. My 33 brother, what up though? I know that's why you just came up here. I know that's why you came up here, but you can't ask for a better game. Well, you can't ask for a better night game, right? You can only hope that tomorrow can be just as exciting as the only game on nationally televised television. I mean, nationally televised football game. But yeah, so that pretty much got $240 million, and he only threw for 179 yards. But they didn't need him today. Let's just be honest. They didn't need him. Cleveland, like I said, they went to that dog pound and made it like a puppy kennel. Commander, what's going on? So, yeah, that's one of the reports, right? But Dallas starts the season off 1-0 with a very convincing win in Cleveland. Now, the second thing that happened today, right? A very odd thing, right? Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins was heading to the football game, and he was detained for something. It's not even known what he was contained for. Excuse me, it's not known what he was detained for, right? Right before the game, he was detained by the Miami police. Him and a couple other teammates, they got out. Now the officers have been they've been put on modified assignment, probably desk duty. Nah, man, you can't just jump. We gotta talk about the news though. Word, this is the news in sports world. So the man got arrested. Well, he got detained and then got to the game and he just went crazy. Tyreek Hill had 7 receptions for 130 yards, including like an 80-yard bomb against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the funny thing about that game was Miami was down 14-0 to the Jags. And, Tua just got his money too. See, I'm going to predicate this on the people that just got all these new contracts. But Tua did pretty well. He was 23 for 37, 338 yards with a touchdown, right? So Miami pulled that game out because they went into overtime, right? So it's 20-17, Miami with the victory. Now, how many people thought that the Pittsburgh Steelers would be leading the AFC North as they went down to Atlanta and pulled out you could say it's an upset, 18-10 game. But let me just say this. It wasn't. Yeah, I got you. They last. We just saw that game. I want to refresh everybody with the first, earlier game. So Pittsburgh had won 18-10, but it wasn't because of their quarterback. Now, as we know that uh, Russell Wilson was named starting quarterback, but he was injured during the week, and then they put Justin Fields in there. He had an okay game. It was 17 for 23, 156 yards. But that Kirk Cousins did not look like he was worth all that money they signed him for in Atlanta, right? He was 16 to 26, 155 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions. Very poor played game by the new $200 million man, because all his money was guaranteed too. And that's the thing, right? When you sit there and play with these, you paying these guys and you getting the results that you don't want. And that's just crazy. But Pittsburgh, that's one thing about them Steelers. I don't know how Mike Tomlin does it, but he gets them ready to play all the time. And they be winning games they ain't supposed to win. They be having winning seasons when they ain't supposed to be having winning seasons. So that was an upset to me. But like I said, Pittsburgh won. No touchdown scored on offense. No touchdown scored at all by them. They just kicked 6 field goals and won the game. So, it was just weird how they did all of that. And they pulled off the upset. The other upset of the day was the New England Patriots went up to Cincinnati and beat the Bengals 16-10. Nothing spectacular besides, New England running the ball down their throat. Yeah, TJ Watt is something. Listen, TJ Watt is something special. That's why that division is always going to be hard. I don't care what Pittsburgh do. As long as they got that defense, they're going to stay in a lot of games. As long as they got TJ Watt on the field, it's unbelievable. You would have thought he was the white Lawrence Taylor out there. No disrespect to the races, but that man was that dominant. Pressuring Kirk Cousins made him look like he was fooled, right? Two tackles on him, a tackle and a chip on the run off the running back. He still was getting to the quarterback. It's just unbelievable how Pittsburgh is always ready to play, right? But the Patriots was not supposed to beat no daggone Cincinnati Bengals, but they did. They ran the ball down their throat. Stevenson had about 120 yards rushing. The team had close to 200 yards rushing, and Joe Burrow did not look like himself. He was accurate, being 21 for 29, but he only had 164 yards, right? And their touchdown came off a rushing play from Zach Moss, who only had 44 yards. So I don't know if Joe Burrow was ready to play, but it was very awkward to look and see them with so little bit of points, the Cincinnati Bengals. But shout out to New England, first win for Gerard Mayo. He's taking over a team that had the greatest coach arguably in the NFL, and Bill Belichick, but he's starting his year off with a win. Can't ask for nothing better, right? Texans and Colts. That was the game I was looking for all day, because I knew those two quarterbacks from the rookies from last year was going to come in and show out. But the Texans pulled that game out 29-27. The Colts tried to come back. They made it close. But TJ Stroud had another great day. 24-32, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon, the former Bengal, had 159 rushing yards on 30 carries. You can't ask for nothing better than that. But when you got that offense passing and running close to 450 yards total offense, that's a tough way to, that's a tough team to beat. AJ Richardson had 9 of 19, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was a close game. Pierre had 3 receptions for 125 yards. It was a rough game, guys. I mean, it was a close game. But the Detroit Lions, we're going to go back to Detroit real quick. The Detroit Lions came out, they came out, they was looking good. They was moving the ball all over the place in the first half. They was playing some good defense. some mishaps happened, and they let Matthew Stafford right back in that game. And you know, that's one thing that any Lions fans they can be mad at Matthew Stafford. I think they did a good job, showing him love, but at the same time, he was an opponent. He wasn't representing the D, so they had to let him know, all right, you left. We got this though. But he had a hell of a game. And let me say this, man. Let me say this. I know a lot of us, we talk about Justin Jefferson and Jamal Chase, and I ain't gonna say CeeDee Lamb, but you can say him. But let me just say this, man. Cooper Kupp looked like he ain't lost a step. Now we know last year he was injured, and Puka Nacua had a great year. But if those two have great years like that, I told y'all before I picked this game that the Lions will have. I mean, the Rams are going to have a great offense, but can they stop anybody? And just like we saw in overtime, they couldn't stop the Lions if they wanted to. They looked like they was rams and bushes. They was hiding in overtime. They couldn't stop nothing. They got Lions did everything that they wanted to do. They got the ball and they made sure Bat didn't touch that ball not one time after that. And the Lions defense came. They was bending, but they didn't break. But they got a couple pass interference call, and that's why the game was really close to me. But they scored. They got two pass interference called in the end zone, leaving the ball at the 1 yard line twice, and they scored. That's how the game was that close. But great game by Jared Goff. He was very consistent. He had the one turnover. Stafford had the same, but y'all got to understand, you got to get those key stops. And for the most part, Detroit did get those key stops. And that's why, they ended up winning that game. The Rams couldn't get the stops. Even when the Rams were up by 3 in the last couple of minutes, Jared Goff led them down the field. They took their time. They didn't waste no timeouts. I mean, it was some judgy play calling. I think they should have went for the win, but that's what Dan Campbell would normally do. But I think he said, you know what? My defense is going to give me a stop and we're going to take off after that. But they ain't even need their defense in overtime. As Jared Goff just led the team down the field. Williams had a big offensive night, over 100 yards receiving. The running game was on point. They got about 150 yards rushing. And they pulled that game out, But it was an awesome Sunday night. It was an awesome Sunday period. You got to see a lot of good games that happened today. You got to see a lot of not good games. Carolina, we knew they wasn't going to show up. They got destroyed by the Saints 47-10. We knew the Giants wasn't going to show up. They made Sam Darnold look like he was back at USC. 28-6. Then listen, after this weekend, right? You have to say that the Giants is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I'm from New York. Yes, that's true. But when they let Saquon go and kept Daniel Jones, you knew the writing was on the wall. Saquon Barkley made Daniel Jones that year. That was his only healthy year, and that healthy year got them to the playoffs. But they wanted to believe that Daniel Jones was the answer, and he wasn't, as y'all can see. He threw for 184 yards with 45 attempts. You can't win no game like that. You got the defense out there all day. You got Sam Darnold starting the game 10 for 10. They're not going to win if Sam Darnold's throwing 10 for 10, right? So we knew they wasn't going to do right. A surprising game happened in Buffalo, though, because the Arizona Cardinals was leading the Buffalo Bills most of the game. And Josh Allen said, you know what, I can't do this no more. He came back and he scored. He has 2 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown rushes. I guess that's what they're gonna need because after losing his top two receivers last year, he's gonna have to do a little bit more, and he did just that. And he led his team back from a deficit and brought them up to a win, 34-28. So he had a pretty good game. The rookies had okay. The rookies had a pretty good. They were okay, except for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams only had 93 yards passing. It was his first game, but they ended up beating the Titans anyway, 24-17. I don't know how he did that, but it wasn't a good look. He only had 93 yards, but they won. So Chicago, y'all getting excited about that first game, and he only had 93 yards. He needs some more time. And the other rookie, Jaden Daniels, had a decent game, 17-24, 194 yards, and 88 rushing yards for the Commanders, even though they lost to Tampa Bay, they made Baker Mayfield look like Tom Brady. He was zipping that ball all over the place. So Dan Campbell's back at coaching, and he ain't winning nothing yet. So, but the rookies did look good. Bo Mix had an off game in Seattle. I thought they was going to play a good game and beat Seattle, but Geno composed himself and had a decent game, about 200 yards passing, and a nice 30-yard touchdown run. But the quarterback situation, these rookies came in, they looked pretty good. They did. They looked good today, especially week one, first week. A lot of them taking snaps for the first time, prime time for some of them, and they looked pretty good. But, after all of these games, like I said, I'm more shocked that the Pittsburgh Steelers is in the first. They are 1-0, and everybody else in the division lost. The Ravens lost, the Bengals lost, and I'm missing a team right now. Bengals and the Browns lost. So all three of those teams lost. Now, if tomorrow the Jets play the 49ers. Now, if the Jets win, the AFC East will all be 1-0, as the Patriots won, Dolphins won, and Buffalo won. That'll be something to talk about. Hey, word, I guess the Lions won. Lady Shay in the cut. She hiding somewhere. You gonna scare her off. Told her she had to apologize. She got to pay though. But it was just a great game. I didn't even get a chance to get the stats down for Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. I looked this up real quick so I can give y'all some accuracy about the final Sunday night game, the final game of the day. Because I know that wide receiver came up with 100 yards. I know that for sure. And like I said, it was a good game. You can't even speak about it, right? So here I go. Matthew Stafford was 34, 49, 317 yards, one touchdown and interception. Cooper Kupp had 14. Look, Puka Nacua got injured Tuesday, but Cooper Kupp had 14 receptions for 110 yards. Man, he almost on that 2,000-yard pace again. Oh, I spoke up. Hi, Lady Shay. Hi, Lady Shay. Good evening. Right, so Cooper Kupp had that big game. The backup, Tyler Johnson had 79 yards. But, as you look at the Lions, Jared Goff only had 217 yards, but he was 18 for 28, a touchdown and a pick. But David Montgomery was running the ball of death today, especially in that overtime. He had 17 carries for 91 yards, but I think he got a majority of those in overtime. You know what I mean? Like I said, Jaden Williams had a big game, 5 catches for 121 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he was very quiet, but they didn't really need him tonight because they had Jay Williams running all over the place with the 60-yard bomb. And, like I said, Everybody came to play, but it was a balanced game by the Lions. That's it's supposed to be. They ran for almost 100, like I said, almost 150 yards, 131, 144, excuse me, 156, 163. So they ran for 163 yards on 30 carries. That's almost 5.5 yards. You know what I mean? So they did what they needed to do. They was balanced. 28. Yeah, they ran the ball. It was balanced on offense. They ran more than they passed, and they got the winner out of that. Lady Shay, how you feeling? Now, Lady Shay, you supposed to be, you picked the Rams. You supposed to be. There was a little something happening with that game, but I'm gonna let y'all two sort that out. But and it was like I said, it was a great. it was a great game though. It was a great Sunday, right? You know, the early games, you saw some surprises. You saw some people who have great games. You saw teams that wasn't supposed to win. And the 4 o'clock game did what it's supposed to do. Dallas went out there and handled business, things like that. And then Sunday night, the finisher of Sunday night, what a game. Got an overtime game down to the wire pretty much. But Detroit pulled it out. They finished the game very strong in overtime, pulling out that touchdown victory over the Los Angeles Rams. Right? And tomorrow, the final game is the New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers. But you guys couldn't ask for a better Sunday. I couldn't ask for a better Sunday because there was a lot of football that was played. A lot of good numbers went up. I said a lot of bad numbers went up, but a lot of good numbers went up. And like I said, you can't ask for the majority of the teams that was expected to win. I think I personally was about 7-3 today, 7-4. The Patriots started the downward spiral for me because I didn't expect them to win. I did pick the Broncos, but Geno did what he had to do. I picked the Falcons and lost. I'm missing a game. It's another game. But I did pretty well. I did pretty well with the picks. Oh gosh, y'all know I'm a homer, so I'm gonna pick I think I picked the Giants. I don't know why I picked the Giants. I thought I was gonna be a homer, but I don't think I'm gonna pick the Giants too much this year because I don't see how they can win about 4. I don't see them winning 4 games this year. I really don't. But it's gonna be a rough season for them. They had them little bright Christmas red jerseys on and only scored 6 points. I bet you they burnt them. They burnt them jerseys and throwing them in the garbage or something. But yeah, but it was a good day. A lot of news. Congratulations to Dak Prescott getting that money. But listen, man, it must be nice to be an athlete to get guaranteed money like that. That man is set for life. $231 guaranteed $1 million. They can cut him right now. He gets $231 million. If he retire right now, he can get $231 million. Man, that's better than Lotto, Powerball, Mega Millions. He came up. Now, hopefully, he can produce. Will the Dallas Cowboys get the results they want from this $240 million man? Time will tell. But I tell you this much: I know they're going to be battling in that NFC East because if Saquon Barkley could do what he did in Brazil all season, it's nothing guaranteed to the Cowboys, right? So, it's a lot going on, right? I think the North is hit now because oh yeah, that's the other news of the day. Jordan Love, he sprained his MCL. Is going to be out 3 to 6 weeks. So now, unless he come back and pull an Aaron Rodgers in week 8 or something like that, it's going to be very hard for them Packers to win some ball games, especially with their schedule looking like. They got to play some teams that's going to be very defensive, and I don't think I almost said Kevin Willis, the backup quarterback Willis. Kevin Willis was a basketball player for the Hawks and Spurs. Don't mind me. That's old school. Tell him my age a little bit. But I don't know if he can keep them afloat with a 3-3 record or above 500 record, and they already lost a game. So Jordan Love may have to come back to the team with a losing record and try to bring them back to playoff position. But if he's that great, he's also one of those people that just got a new contract too. So there's going to be a lot of expectation on him to do that. They wanted him to replace Aaron Rodgers. He's going to have to do some Aaron Rodgers type things. So you got to be ready. But yeah, that's just pretty much it. The Sunday night is over. It's past 12. Word, you going live tonight? If you're going live, let me know. I was just catching up on Lady Shay's live. I was questioning her down. She probably got tired of me questioning her. But as far as, the football games go, it was pretty good. We got one more to go, and then we'll be back at it again Thursday. Tomorrow I'll probably be on around the same time. If anything, I may start at 11 to talk about wrestling in the beginning, while if the Jets and 49er game is still going. I may come on a little bit early just to talk about wrestling to kill some time until that final score happens, and I can do a recap of that. Because I know some of us do watch, wrestling as entertainment, and we're a sports and entertainment channel, so we can go ahead and do those things. I like I said, we wrapped up everything as we touched a lot of the scores and things like that. It's nothing. It was a lot of games that we didn't have to recap, like the Saints, the Saints and Panthers. I feel bad for Bryce Young. He's going to be in a lot of trouble, and that trade is looking great for the Bears because they made that trade to the Panthers, and they got 2 number 1 quarterbacks. They got Justin Fields, and then they got Caleb Williams off of that one trade. So I don't know if the Steelers is really ready to let him play. Justin Fields, like I said, he did enough. He didn't turn the ball over. I think he's the type of person, he can't be under center. I don't think the quarterback, the center exchange is not his cup of tea under center. He might have to be in a linebacker, in a shotgun position at all time, a lot of the time, so he can see the ball and catch it and then do whatever he's going to do. But, it's a lot of football left. So everybody that lost, they can turn it around. It's still week 1. But it's nothing much to really. I think Cincinnati got some work to do, but that's why I tell people all the time, if you got the opportunity to practice with your team, you can't really hold out for money. Here's my question though, right? I want to ask y'all, y'all here a question. Do you think these guys are playing to win championships or get their bag? I'm starting to notice that people want their bag and they're not even worried about the results that they're giving, not their personal results, but the team results. You know, a lot of people are supposed to be playing sports to win the chip, right? That's how it was. That's how it was when I was coming up in the sports world. They was trying to win the chip, then get the bag. Now they get in the bag and don't care about the chip. So is winning a championship important now? I don't know. I don't see it in these players. A lot of these players, I only see it in Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes supposed to be a billionaire. He took a pay cut, right? Tom Brady was being the lowest paid player. He thinking about winning more than his pockets. I'm not here to count nobody's pockets, but you just sit back and just hear these contracts, right? You hear these contracts, 240 million, but you don't have an offensive line, right? A receiver want to get paid 100 and something million, but don't have a quarterback. How are you going to win if a person's not going to be able to get you the ball? How are you going to win if your offensive line can't keep you up straight? These are the things that I asked. Listen, I'm not telling people not to get the money, right? Especially in that sport. That sport, this NFL, this football, the sport itself is very rigorous, right? You got to do a lot of things to make sure that you don't get hurt. Look, Jordan Love, he got hurt very first week after signing a new contract. Now, you know, anything happens to him, he's good. But look, he got injured. He's gonna be out already 6 weeks maximum. He got his bag. Now, is he gonna be like, I'm gonna try to get back for the team and rush the healing process or whatever? No. We don't never know, right? But I just feel like a lot of these people that's going for the bag, I don't think they're trying to win. I don't think they care if they win. Maybe that's just a personal observation, but I know the team that's been winning lately, they ain't trying to be super. They ain't going for the super deals. Kelsey ain't got no super deal. Mahomes got a super deal, but he restructured his contract so other people can win. Yes, Lady Shay, you can ask me a question. You can ask me a question. You want to type it or you want to come up? Oh, I can't even pin it. I can't pin it. Okay. I can't pin it. Y'all lucky. I hate this computer. But let me see a word. If you were playing, what would your focus be? If I was playing football, my focus would be to win first, right? Because this is how it goes, right? If you a top pick, right? If you're a top pick, they're going to give you like 3 to 4 years to play on your contract. So the goal would be to try to win in those 3 to 4 years. So once those years come up and you get another, you can start negotiating for a contract. There's nothing in the world you can't demand. You already won. You already decided to be great at your craft, to be your best. Now, there are some that haven't won and deserve the money that they get, but they wouldn't have to hold out if they won, right? For example, I keep using Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes been to 4 Super Bowls already before his rookie contract even ended. So once you win the first 2, you can say, you know what? I'm up for a contract. What else do y'all want me to do? I led the team. I've already been an MVP. I've already thrown for 5,000 yards. I've already won a Super Bowl. I've already been a Super Bowl MVP. Does he have NFL MVP? I'm not. I don't think he do, but he may do. But he's one of those people that say, you know what, whatever I ask for, I've earned, and he hasn't fallen short yet. So I would go for the win and then get the bag. I would ask for 200. Like right now, if Patrick Mahomes say, "Yo, I'm tearing this contract up. If they can get 230 guaranteed million, I need 300 guaranteed." And nobody in the NFL would not give. They would not deprive him of a $300 million guaranteed contract. He's that good. He's earned everything that he's gotten. So, yeah, I would say that. I mean, I would definitely say that. So the word said that's up to the teams, though the players are the ones putting their lives on the line. The dudes in suits supposed to figure out the money. That's true too, though. That's true too. But when it's a tough, like, I'm not a selfish person. BDB, how you feeling? How you living? Hey man, listen. Side note, right? That battle of the beats, man, that was a very difficult one, man. I couldn't pick a winner in the third round because they it's like they saved their best for last. So that was an awesome battle of the beats. Shout out to BDB. Right? That was just dope. Wait. Yeah, but it's a tough situation, right? Because if you leave it up to them, they're gonna try to shortchange you. I understand that part, right? But I also understand I'm trying to win, so I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I'm gonna go holler at my guy, right? For example, you the quarterback, you want your wide receivers because you got the rapport, right? Yo, what you gonna need to sign? You're gonna need that extra 100 million. All right, yo, listen, I'm gonna restructure. You go up there and tell them what you need. If they come to me, I'm gonna tell them, listen, what you need from me, restructure it for him, right? I just want the rapport. The rapport is what allows you to win championships. And if the quarterback is taking the lead, then I'm doing it for the purpose of to be great. I want to be a dynasty, like in sports. All you could be is dynasties, right? That's why the Patriots are a dynasty. Now they're looking at Patrick Mahomes as a dynasty. The 49ers were a dynasty because they was winning the Super Bowls in the 80s, right? Dallas was a dynasty. They got 3 Super Bowls in the 90s, right? You can't really say, well, the Patriots, 2000 and then the 10s, right? But they all took, like, if you look at them, right? Every one of those teams, they took pay cuts for people to stay and continue the camaraderie, the cohesion of a team. And they didn't really have to go out there and spend money on free agents. They didn't have to go chase that marquee free agent, except for the Cowboys when they got Deion Sanders, right? But everybody else, they didn't get no marquee player. They didn't. All right, we getting Jerry Rice. We're gonna add him to the Patriots, or Randy Moss went over there, but they thought he was washed up. But even when he went over there, they didn't win the chip. But you saw their record was 17-0. You see what happens when you get the camaraderie with a team. So I understand that point, that it's up to the players. I mean, it's up to the suits. But, that's why they put those quote unquote luxury tax, and, you get taxed if you go over a certain amount of money, so on and so forth. That's why they do it, so they can restructure it and try to keep the teams where they are. But I don't mind the players going for what they need or what they want, right? It's not even about need. It's about going for what they want. But if they felt like they need the championship, you got to make a sacrifice. The sacrifice is going to come out your pocket. It's crazy to say, and it's even harder to hear me say it. But I understand both positions. But if I want to win, I need to keep everybody where they at. You know what I mean? Like that's just like right now, right? You feel like you winning, and let's just say, for example, Tay dips off. Now you got to do all you can do to keep up, to pull her weight if she falls out. This is just a point trying to be made, right? Now you gotta fill in. Okay, who's gonna take Tay's spot? Who's gonna give me those hard questions and keep me mindful of certain things like that, things of that nature. But the camaraderie is already there, and you guys, the 9% is already winning. See what I'm saying? You see how the team wins when you guys get together. Now somebody takes off, they not feeling the way that they felt before. It's the same way in sports. It's a reason why Kobe fell off a little bit when Shaq left. You see, he didn't win from 2003 all the way to like 2009. It took him 6 years to get what he needed together. He was off. He made the playoffs. He fell off. See what I'm saying? He had to get that cohesion back. He got it back a little later. But in between times, because there was no cohesion and he was bickering with Shaq, it was over with. That early Laker dynasty was gone. Now he got back to the chip and won it twice. But you know what I mean? It took them a while. Things of that nature. Commander. I think Lady Shay had a question up here. I think she asked me what team would I play for. Did she erase that? What team would you play for and why? Lady Shay, you ain't gonna like this answer. It's gonna sound weird to you, right? I would, if I was great, right? If I had that greatness, I would pick the losingest team and try to put them up on a thing, right? For example, my team is the Jets. The Jets ain't won a Super Bowl in 51 years. I would play for the Jets and take them to the Super Bowl and win. I would be the greatest Jet of all times. They would do a parade for me. They would do all types of things. That's why Aaron Rodgers is important. That's why he the key. They feel like they have the defense to sustain him. All he got to do is don't turn the ball over. If you don't turn the ball over, they feel like they got a shot to get into the Super Bowl. And if we're being realistic, if he like 30 touchdowns and 6, 7, 8 interceptions, they got a great chance of doing that as well. But if it was me, that's what I would do. I would pick the worst team, that like a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl, like the Jets, the Cleveland Browns, those longer tenured teams that haven't won in forever, and then try to do that to win a Super Bowl. I think that'd be the greatest thing ever. That's why, it's just different. But we sometimes stay loyal to teams because they brought us into that thing. But I saw more Jets games than Giants games, so that's why I'm a Jets fan. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to go live. I feel the questions brewing. Whatever. I'll be ready. Whatever. Word, if you getting hurt, putting in the work as a player, you got to get rough with that check. No, yeah, I mean, I get that part. You do, because this one of those games that one of these sports that they don't really, how do I say, they don't take care of you. They got a union, they got healthcare and all of that stuff, but you sacrifice a lot for this game. Like people in the past, there's head traumas going on. There's people are losing memories and getting concussed and things like that. So I get it, right? They trying to make it a you can't make tackle football. You can't make tackle football not be safe. It's always going to be risk and trials and ask Jordan Love trying to make a play. He uninjured himself. He's out for 6 weeks. See what I'm saying? You gotta I ain't know Gary. Don't yeah. Yo, that was so funny, BDB, right? I really thought I was related to the Browns. I swear to God. He's like, yo, that us? It that us? You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. But yeah, they gotta go for what they know. They gotta listen, they gotta do what they gotta do. All I hope for them personally is that they don't wreck the generational wealth that they have. They better get on some Rockefeller routine and keep the money and keep that money going because that family should be set forever. Even though like Patrick Mahomes didn't need that money, his dad was well off being a sports star, a sports player already. People like him, Grant Hill. But once you get to that level where you can get that generational wealth, all they supposed to do is make sure that that money does not go nowhere, it doesn't fall apart. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's what they did. BDB, how did you watch the oh no, they ain't play. I thought that said how did you feel about Lamar Jackson's game on Thursday night? And I'm pretty sure how did you feel about your quarterback play if you're an Eagle and Raiders fan? Because that, Jalen Hurts didn't really, to me, he didn't do that well, but Saquon saved him. You know what I mean? And Lamar, he was accurate, but he missed the key passes. You know what I mean? It's two different, it's two different ways of looking at it. How did you view that? How did you see that? But it's just different ways to view that. Like I said, I want the athletes, to come up, and I know that a lot of them are coming from the bottom. Now they there. I ain't try to steal that. I ain't try to steal a line. My bad. But when you start with nothing and then come up with something, I can understand why you ain't worried about the chip. But it's just something about being a winner. It's just something about being great and winning. It's just something that leaves. It just leave a everlasting mark. That's a sports legacy that you can leave, right? I know people want to leave personal legacies, but a sports legacy it's enshrined. You already going to the Hall of Fame. People like Tom Brady. Look, Tom Brady making $375 million to call one game a week for 10 years. That's after what he just made in football. And he did that for 20 years. And he probably got a pension with that. Right? It's just something about leaving a legacy behind. And he's considered the greatest quarterback. So get your money. I understand that. But you can get your money. And if you can win and then get your money, they can't tell you nothing. You know what I mean? They can't say not one word to you. But I just think that a lot of these guys, yeah, right. I almost forgot too. You right about that. I almost forgot. That's all right. I might change the logo tomorrow real quick if they win. I might put a new logo up there. BDB said that was robbery. The Ravens should have won, but of course they want to see the Chiefs become the next dynasty like the Golden State in the NBA. I mean, BDB, I hear you. But the robbery, sometimes you got to take it out of the referee's hands, right? You make that pass to Zay Flowers in the end zone, that's taken out his hands, right? If that man didn't have big feet, that game is taken out of the referee's hands. It's tied up. You see what I'm saying? It's tied up. But you got to do what you can. Like I said, he had a good game. Lamar Jackson had a great game. You know what I mean? He had over 100 yards rushing. I think he has to get Derrick Henry more involved to keep him off the grass, so to speak. You know what I mean? Give him the ball. Let him run the clock out. Let him keep hitting. Let him. If he did kept the Chiefs on the sideline, it would have been good. You know what I mean? But that's what you got to do. You got to use all the weapons you got. And if you got two in the running back position, that you can go ahead and do that. You can rush him for 100 yards, let him get going, and then it'll open it up for Lamar Jackson. That's why I thought that was a good signing for the Ravens. But of course, as always, it's going to take time. I don't like the practice sessions either, the preseason, because they don't play them enough to get the practice in. As far as the Eagles, Jalen wasn't on point in the beginning, but he bounced back. Saquon, AJ, and the defense came in clutch. Yeah. It would have been a different story. I think it would have been different if he didn't get hurt at the end of the game. Jordan Love. It would have been very interesting. He said they rigged the Ravens game. What was a touchdown? I know you ain't talking about the touchdown when the man was on the line. Yeah, you're a homer. You're a homer. We know good and well that man's foot was on the line. It was right on the line. But I get it. You're a fan. Can't say fan, word in the bushes. He in the raptures. He might be trying to say somebody's a fan and worshiping these guys, but that's what they try to get me the other day. BDB, don't mind me. But yeah, I get it. You want a refund? Yeah, but like I said, if anything, they know they could match up with the Chiefs, and they wasn't even at fully functional with the Ravens. So if they do run into them again, they may be ready and take them out. Just take some of those mistakes out, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine. I still think they'll win the division, especially after seeing Cincinnati lose to New England. But shout out to Gerard Mayo. Like I said, nobody expected that win to come for him. And he pulled it out. He pulled it out by running the football, keeping his quarterback clean in the pocket, not asking him to do too much. And what Gerard do? He played defense in real life, so he let the defense show up. So they showed up for him, got him a victory. Joe Burrow looked at a little rusty. That's cool. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase, but you can't keep missing time to get your bread. I understand they trying to get their bread, but you still need that rapport. And he just came back from an injury, so you needed those reps together. I don't know if they did it, at a beach or whatever. Sometimes they be taking trips to Arizona and California to get reps together or whatever. I don't know if they did that, but if you could only throw for 100 and what did he throw for? 164 yards, then everybody go to HR. Commander, you available? But if you only throw for 164 yards, yeah, he went. He definitely did what he had to do. Word, he definitely came on in the second half. You know what I mean? He came on in the second half, made himself available, got that. Excuse me. That long, 5 for 121. He got that long pass on the stop and go. Made that man look crazy. Man should have just tackled him, but he couldn't. He juked him so bad he couldn't even grab him. They couldn't even grab him. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the Lions. That's why, I always tell people, when you can have balance like that, it's a different thing. As I was just telling BDB, if Lamar has that balance like that, they're going to be dangerous. You can be dangerous when you have that type of rushing and that type of passing. See what I mean? When you got that, they can't put 8 in the box. They can't just sit in cover 2. You know what I mean? They got to mix it up. And then when you got a quarterback that can read the defense, it ain't going to matter. I just need Lamar Jackson to do a little bit more so they can be afraid of his passing prowess, right? I know the first game of the season, I know Mark Andrews didn't have too many touches. He didn't have the possessions or the receptions rather, to make the wide receiver or make the seam routes look good or anything of that possession. He didn't have no possessions of the ball. So he couldn't, he couldn't be Mark Andrews. So I think that the passing suffered for that, even though he did have a 100-yard receiver that night. I just think Mark Andrew opens up the middle of the field, and if he opens up the middle of the field, that makes it easier for the option play. And then once they start winning, Derrick Henry could get the ball all day, and then you can play action it with first down now. You can scare them now. You know what I mean? Kansas City hasn't even been playing that well as of late. Pacheco has been saving, but that's all you need. But that's the camaraderie. You see what I mean? Look at Edwards Elect, whatever his name, the other running back, he's not in. Pacheco comes in and saves him. Right? I think Hollywood Brown is on the. Is it Hollywood Brown? Hollywood Brown is on the Chiefs, right? They ain't even need him. This new kid came in and got a rushing and a passing touchdown. This is what Kansas City do. They got trick plays up the wazoo. All they asked for is give me a stop at the end so we can win. Even though they didn't get the stop, I think Baltimore gave them the stop by the misread and the toe tap at the end of the game. But I just think if they can do better than that, then it would have been a totally different. It would have been a different result. They could have pulled that out even in overtime, I think, because Mahomes is, he had a good game, but it wasn't because he was slinging the ball 40, 50 yards. And look, Kelsey didn't have as many touches, right? That's what I'm saying. So those type of games, you got to be consistent with. But like Word said the other day, that's why they play the games. You play the games to see you could be at your best that one day and beat the team that you ain't supposed to be. Ask New England. Right. Lamar struggles with balance because of the strong ass. I thought that was a real comment. I mean, it's a real comment, but he got a strong ass chin. He up there looking like one of the organized from the movie Small Soldiers. You crazy. But right, Word, that's what happened. You give Andy Reid something like that to play with. You give him McNabb. Look what he did with McNabb and no receivers. That's why Patrick Mahomes is so great. That's why Patrick Mahomes surpassed McNabb quick, fast, in a hurry. He went past the four NFC. No, he went past the AFC Championship and the one Super Bowl appearance that McNabb did in the beginning of his career. You know what I mean? So, but that's what Andy Reid do. That's why, I don't know what happened with Eric Bieniemy. I think, he was slighted, but I think he's in college. I forgot what school he's at. I hope they're doing well there, but he got the raw end of the stick. Because if, how I feel, if it was anybody else, they would have got a job. But, they saying that Bieniemy wasn't making the calls. Andy Reid was, so that hindered him. So he felt like he had to go on out there and make his own bones. There's nothing wrong with that. Andy going to be better than Bill. I guess. It's very possible. It's very possible that he can be better. What they got? 1, 2. What they got? 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 3 out of 4. If he gets 2 more, he has to be up there. Especially for the offensive prowess. It's not like, what I mean? Spagnuolo about to get a new job. He keep winning these Super Bowls. They're gonna give him a job first and foremost, and he's trash as a coach, as a head coach. Some people are made to be just what they're supposed to be: defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. It's very rare that you get one that could be molded together, right? I mean, only reason why Belichick looked good because Tom Brady looked it good. You know what I mean? Like, but look at everybody else. Jimmy Johnson. He's considered an offensive guru, right? But their defense was saving them a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Charles Haley, Darren Woodson, uh, 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 Larry Brown. Look, Larry Brown won the Super Bowl MVP. All he had was 2 interceptions against the Steelers. You see what I'm saying? It's just the way that it goes. Russell, was it Russell Maryland? Yeah, Russell Maryland. I think he played for. Yeah, he did. See what I'm saying? People like that. When you get on a and look, they try to keep them all together. That's what I'm saying. When you keep everybody together, you can go on those type of runs. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, 2 out of 3 Super Bowls, things like that. Look, even if you look at the Seahawks, now if they don't try to make Russell Wilson a hero, they would have been back-to-back champions looking for a 3P. Sometimes you gotta, like we always say, sometimes you gotta take your ego out and just go for the win. But people want to be important like that. I don't want to be important. I just want to win. Right? I just want the victory. I don't care if I hold the ball for the winning field goal. Just kicked off my finger. I don't care if I do that. I know I was victorious, and I know he couldn't have kicked that ball. He might have could have kicked that ball without me, but he kicked it off my finger. You see what I'm saying? It's all about winning. It shouldn't be about the bag. The bag, you're gonna get the bag when you win anyway. But I get it. Everybody feels like everybody's not supposed to win. So you get your money because you know you're not going to win, so on and so forth. It happens. But yeah, you know, it's just different when you keep everybody together. Word, did you say you was going live today? It's 1:45. I don't think you're going live tonight. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just like I said, it was just great games. It was great games today. I'm really excited for like I told y'all the other day, I'm really excited to see what Anthony Richardson can do after he got his arm fixed. I think he messed up his shoulder or elbow last year. He did pretty well. He just ran into a Texan team that played just a little bit better. Their defense was a little bit more better, and they won the game. Like I said, CJ Stroud, he continued to do what he do. He only missed 8 passes. He's had 8 incomplete passes, 24-32. But he threw for 294 yards. And like I said, they had a running game. Mixon had damn near 160 yards rushing on 30 carries. That's damn near 450 yards by themselves. You ain't gonna lose a lot of games when you got 400, 500 yards unless it's garbage time. I mean, you're getting blown out and you just rack up 300 yards. That what they call Shannon Sharp would call it empty calories. But if you up and winning 450 yards of running and passing, total offense, you're not going to lose too many games. You're not. Nico Collins had 118 yards. Stephon Diggs just got traded there. They made him feel important. He got 2 touchdowns in his first game at the Texans. You know he feel important, and that's what I'm saying. They trying to build the camaraderie. They trying to build the cohesion. Look, all right, you just got here, but we're going to make you feel important. We're going to give you 2 touchdowns. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to beat to slow down that offense, especially when they're together. It's going to take that defense to be on one of rapport. You're going to have to shake these guys up to get them quarterbacks not to get those big numbers and win, But yeah, I don't think I would ask for a better week 1. I don't think so. I think it was a great week. We saw a couple of upsets. We saw some people continuing from last year to do what they do. And then we saw, like I said, we saw the rookies. even though only one of the rookie quarterbacks won today, but we saw promises in the others. You didn't really see a promising Caleb Williams only throwing for 93 passing yards. But the fact that he was the quarterback that led that team from a 17-0 deficit, even if it was just 9, I think he ran the ball pretty well too. But the fact is, he led them back from a 17-0 deficit. And now when you win that game, you give your team confidence, even if he threw for 93 yards. Yo, listen, this ain't like last year. We was down 17-0 last year. We'd have got blown out by 38 points. But your first game, we played 17. We down 17. We came back and won. We scored 24 unanswered points. So now we got a little bit more confidence in you than we did with Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields won with just field goals. I think somebody scored a touchdown. I'm not even sure who it was. But yeah, I don't really recall a touchdown. No, I don't recall a touchdown. I think they kicked 6 field goals. But he did enough. 17 for 23, 160, 56. He didn't lose a fumble. He didn't turn the ball over. You know what I mean? It's just the way that it goes. But, so wrapping up Sunday night, good win for the Lions. Good win for the Texans. I'm not really impressed with the Cowboys, but it was a good win. I mean, their defense looked like they was back to themselves, but it's only week 1. Congratulations to Gerard Mayo for that's the upset of the day. The Patriots beating the Bengals. And like I said, it's week 1. So there's a lot of teams still working the kinks out of the armor, so to speak. So, we're going to find out. Like I said, there's one more game for the week, and then we'll be back Thursday with the Bills and the Dolphins. We'll see which one of them is going to take the AFC lead, even though it's the second week. But it's a lot of good football. I'm happy to say that football season is back. From Thursday on, we had some pretty good games. We got a good one Thursday night, even though it's some controversy. We had one Friday night, even though the field wasn't right. And then we had all of these games tonight. And, we finalized the night by the Lions pulling off that victory in overtime. They came back, scored the field goal, and then got the ball and took the ball right down the field. So you can't ask for nothing, but you can't ask for, a better start to the season unless one of your teams lost or your team lost. The times we live in, the Patriots beating the Bengals, right? And that's what I'm saying. Look, because nobody expected the Bengals. Nobody expected the Bengals to lose to the Patriots. Just like I said, nobody expected the Pittsburgh Steelers to be the only team that won in the NFC North. See what I'm saying? It just sounds crazy. But this just goes to show you how you, like you say, any given Sunday. That's why they play their games. You know what I mean? You got one team, you got one division that lost every game but the Steelers. Then you got, like I said, the AFC East. Everybody won their game today. The Pats, the Dolphins, and the Bills. They all won their games. All 3 of them. So they all sitting up in the division 1-0. See what I mean? So it's gonna be a very interesting season. I didn't even speak about the Chargers because they didn't impress me. They beat the quarterbackless Vegas Raiders. I feel bad for Antonio Pierce because they left him handicapped. They left him handcuffed and handicapped with no quarterback. Their defense was playing good, but they have no quarterback. I don't like God. What the hell is his name? Gardner Minshew. He's a journeyman. He's a backup guy. If he was a premier starter, he wouldn't be a backup guy. You see what I'm saying? But that's what they have. They're gonna be in games. I just think Gardner Minshew is not the guy that's gonna help them win more of those close games than he loses. But that's also why Kansas City is going to be the West winner, the AFC West, because you got people like Gardner Minshew, and it's going to be interesting because Justin Herbert didn't have a really good game, and it was Jim Harbaugh first game back in the NFL, but he won 22-10. But I don't think Justin Fields had over 200 yards passing either. But it just goes to show you, sometimes when your quarterback is better than the other quarterback, the expectations of winning is better. But it didn't happen for the Falcons because we all would believe that Kirk Cousins is better than Justin Fields. But it didn't look like that because they lost. You see what I'm saying? So, it's just a lot. It was a lot of good football today. What was it, like 11 games today? 12, 13? Yeah, because tomorrow's the final day. And, we're going to see if the Jets look like the Jets. Are the Jets going to be the old Jets? Or are they going to be this Jets that's great besides on paper? That's the question. And the 49ers got their own questions. Brock Purdy, how is he going to do against this quote-unquote elite defense? How is Brandon Ayuk going to feel playing, for the first time with the team? How is oh God, I forgot the tackle name. Trent Williams how is he gonna be, since he got his new contract? All of these questions are gonna be asked tomorrow. Can Aaron Rodgers play a whole game? Can he be in cohesion with his receivers? Are they going to win? Are they going to lose? Will the Jets defense hold up? All of these questions will be answered tomorrow, as that's the Monday night game. I'm going to be the homer and say that the Jets is going to win, but I'm going to say this. I will not be surprised if they lose. I won't be surprised. I just think that they can win. I agree with that too, Word. I think that Matthew Stafford, he's always been better than Jared Goff. That's why they traded for him. You know what I mean? And, true to form, he got to L.A., won them a chip. Jared Goff got them to the Super Bowl. He couldn't score a touchdown. But it's different when you have better receivers, right? I don't think Jared Goff had the better receivers that year that Stafford had. I don't think McVay opened up the playbook for Jared Goff like Dan Campbell or whoever his offensive coordinator is. And you see a different result, right? You see Jared Goff throwing up 25 points plus. They're going there every game. Defense is giving him good field position. He's making the best out of his position. But shout out to Matthew Stafford. I just felt bad that Megatron couldn't win. I felt bad that they couldn't do nothing with that, even though he was great. It's hard. Like, it's hard to be good. Look, he's another example. Megatron said, I can get all this money, but I'm tired of losing. I'd rather sit myself down. You know what I mean? Why would I go out there and hurt myself if I know I ain't trying, if I'm not going to win? See, that's one of those people that's like, you know what? I'm going to make it without that. And so he trying his best to do this. He did what he needed to do and retired. It's just something different when you want that chip and you strive for it instead of just going to get your bag. It's just a difference in a situation. But guys, it was a wonderful Sunday, like I said, and we just gonna wrap it up tonight. I will be back on tomorrow. right after the game. Like I said, if anything, if I start a little bit earlier and the game is still going, I'll just talk about, wrestling until the game ends and give you the stats and things like that at the end of that Monday Night Football game. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate the comments. But within the next 24 hours, Mr. 33 signing off. I'm out. Appreciate you guys. See you guys tomorrow, or see you guys tonight. Not tomorrow, tonight.